There has been a ton of noise around Donovan Clingan's name during this entire draft process. The big man out of the University of Connecticut has drawn a lot of interest from teams looking to trade up for him. But could he fall to the Portland Trail Blazers at 7? Currently, a lot of mock drafts have that happening, and we're going to talk about his path to that pick as well as his potential fit with the Portland Trail Blazers. But first, some background information. Donovan Clingan is a 2-year college player, spending both of those years with the Connecticut Huskies and winning championships in both those seasons. Last year, he averaged 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game in only 22 minutes, and he never played heavy minutes at UConn. That is a bit of a question with him coming into the league. He also shot a dismal 58% from the free throw line. He shot 64% from the field, is not known as a three-point shooter, and shot 58% from the free throw line, which is a dismal number. And then at the NBA Draft Combine, Clingan measured 7'1" and 3/4 without shoes, with an almost 7'7" wingspan and a 9'7" standing reach. It's rare that you can get your hands on a legitimate 7'2" big man. Teams are intrigued by his ability to protect the rim and block shots. He's not a complete stiff. He might be able to move his feet well enough to play in some different pick and roll schemes, but he projects primarily as a drop scheme big man. But he has his struggles on the offensive end. He was not as good of a finisher as you might think given his size at the college level, but there is hope that can improve. And then he also had some serious passing flashes that teams will hope to tap into. His form on jump shots is not bad. In the best case scenario, maybe he's somebody that can stretch his game out and develop a 3-point shot. We've seen bigs come into the league as non-shooters and be able to add that to their game before, but ultimately he has a chance to be an all defensive level big one day, and he's one of the safer, high floor, lower upside picks at the top of the draft. And at the top of the draft, there's some serious buzz about the Atlanta Hawks potentially selecting him. They're presumed to be moving on from Clint Capella, and they have a hole at the center spot. Alex Sarr apparently doesn't want to go to Atlanta and won't work out for them, leaving Zachary Risache as the favorite to go there, but Clingan is a possibility as well. Assuming Sarr does not go number 1, it's said that he is a lock to the Washington Wizards at number 2. At 3, Houston is a weird fit as they have Alperen Sengun, who broke out last year, and I don't think he and Clingan can share the floor at the same time. I think they're both centers. I think they would both struggle defending power forwards, and that's not playing to their strengths. The San Antonio Spurs at 4 have absolutely no need for Donovan Clingan because they got an alien in Victor Wembanyama back there, and one day he might average 5 or 6 blocks a game. Getting extra rim protection at a center spot is just pointless when you have Wemby. The Pistons at number 5 have Jalen Duren. He is still seen as their long-term center. And then the Charlotte Hornets at 6 have Mark Williams, who has been a bit injury prone but showed some good signs last season. It's unsure whether or not the Charlotte Hornets would consider taking Clingan to replace Mark Williams as their long-term big man. So although Clingan is getting buzz with the number 1 overall pick, there is a world where he falls to the Portland Trail Blazers at 7. But a team could also jump above Portland into one of those picks and select Clingan, and the number 1 possibility for that is the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have been seen as a match made in heaven for Clingan during this entire draft process, and there has been plenty of rumors about them trying to trade up for Clingan. The number 1 landing spot for any team trying to trade up is the Houston Rockets at number 3. The Rockets had a solid season last year, and supposedly they're trying to get better right now. Marcus Smart in number 9 might be enough to get the Grizzlies up to number 3 to take Clingan, but maybe the Blazers trade up for him by packaging Malcolm Brogdon with number 7. If there's a trade up for Clingan, it's going to probably involve Houston, and while it's most likely to be the Blazers or the Grizzlies, don't rule out teams such as Chicago at 11, OKC at 12, or a team like New Orleans trading Brandon Ingram to Houston and getting back the 3rd pick. But let's say the Blazers get Clingan, whether it's a trade up or he falls to 7. That raises some questions about the Blazers' center position going into next season. While Clingan doesn't have to start right away as a rookie, he's one of the more NBA-ready prospects in this draft, and using assets to trade up to get him would suggest that he's going to start sooner rather than later. Of course, the Blazers' prize in the Damian Lillard trade was DeAndre Ayton, who played better basketball the second half of last season. But drafting Clingan would put a ticking clock on DeAndre Ayton's time in Portland and might cause a little bit of awkwardness going into next season. Also, Robert Williams III should be healthy at the start of next year. Whether he can stay healthy is another question, but his spot on this roster would no longer make sense considering Clingan should at least play backup center minutes right away. The Blazers could also experiment playing Ayton next to Clingan at the 4 and 5 spots, but I do not like that thought whatsoever. I don't think DeAndre Ayton is somebody who works at a power forward position. He doesn't handle the ball, he doesn't shoot the 3 ball, he doesn't defend the perimeter as well as he defends the paint, and Clingan and Ayton playing together is a super clunky fit. Ultimately, if the Blazers draft him at 7, I get it. I wouldn't be the biggest fan of that, but I understand it. Ultimately, if the Blazers draft Clingan at 7, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I understand it. If the Blazers trade assets to move up for Clingan, I don't like that whatsoever, as I don't think he possesses enough upside to justify that move, especially given that the Blazers are paying DeAndre Ayton a max contract and supposedly value him. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with Donovan Clingan in this year's draft, with all the rumors around him, from the possibilities of him going number 1 to the possibilities of a team trading up to get him, to the potential that he falls to Portland at 7. It's been said that that 7th overall pick is the floor for Clingan, so if he's on the board when the Blazers are on the clock, expect that to be their pick. Let me know what you think of Donovan Clingan down in the comment section below. Would you trade up for him if you're the Blazers? Would you take him at 7, or would you take someone else? Let me know. We will have an awesome live stream for both rounds of the NBA draft, so you don't want to miss that. You can come react with us live. And I plan on doing this style of video for a few more prospects, so let me know who you want down in the comment section below. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.